the Iceman coming. Jesper Svensson enters the postseason tonight, coming off a resounding win in the 2025 Tournament of Champions. Can he keep it rolling and advance? The PBA playoffs continue next on FS1. And welcome everybody to Strobel Arena, Thunderbolt Lanes as the PBA playoffs rock on here in Allen Park, Michigan. Last night you saw both Anthony Simonson and Kyle Troop go undefeated to earn their quarterfinal berths against E.J. Tackett and Graham Faw. Tonight it's a lefty battle to start, Jacob Butturff versus Jesper Svensson, and then two-handed heaven with Ryan Barnes and Chris Vye. Welcome everybody, along with multiple Hall of Famer Randy Pedersen and Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont. You call him the Iceman, Jesper Svensson.
Yeah.
And he was indeed, when on Easter Sunday, he elbowed his way into this event by winning the TFC.
Yeah, he sure did. And you know, in sports, timing is everything, right? And Easter Sunday, what a great time for Jesper Svensson to win. And not just any kind of win. This was a major championship victory for the Iceman. He demolished Jacob Butturff in that title match, 221-197 for his second Tournament of Champions victory, 13 overall titles for the Swede.
And as Robin Williams once said, irony can be ironic, because who's he playing in the first round of the playoffs but the guy he beat in Jacob Butturff. And it's been nice to see Butters getting back into the form that we know.
It really is. 2024 was miserable for Jake, and he looks like he's back on track. He's had a very nice season here in 2025, a couple runner-up finishes, and he looks like he's back on track to win again.
And our newest major championship winner is standing by with Kimberly right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Jesper, we just saw a video footage of you winning the TOC just a few short weeks ago. Now, you've always been a confident guy, but you said after you won it for a second time that it changed your mindset a bit. How so?
Yeah, it felt great to prove to myself and to the other people that I can still win those big tournaments. And yeah, huge confidence boost coming into this playoff. So yeah, I'm ready to go.
And speaking of winning those big tournaments, you were one win away. You were first runner-up last year at this event. How badly do you want to climb the stepladder for a chance at winning it all again? Yeah,
that'd be awesome. And yeah, to get some revenge from last year. But we're far away from that, so one at a time.
Good luck to you today.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Last year coming off of that runner-up finish to Boog Kroll.
And now here he is coming in, newly minted major winner again in an all-lefty battle against Jacob Butturff. Two unique styles, one-handed that is literally impossible to duplicate the way he throws the ball. And Jesper, just pure power, especially with that kind of ball in his hands. He is deadly. As if to prove a point.
Check out that rev rate. Strongest strike ball on tour. Jesper Svensson. He can actually get that higher if he wants to. I think he can get it over 600. He's done it before. Yeah.
Jeez, I can't even imagine. That's done by human hands. And Butters powers the ball right through the back wall, 8 and 9.
You got to love the Foot Locker jersey he's wearing today, huh? One of the most unusual and unique styles to hit the PBA Tour in years, but he makes it work. And I think that if you ask a lot of the players out here on tour, when he gets it rolling, he can strike with any of them out here.
See his arsenal. And he will kick away the 7 to open with a double against Jesper. Last victory on tour for Butturff was the PBA Scorpion Championship in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, sometimes it isn't. And he also owns a major.
4 to the sidewall and a kick save and a beauty as we take a look at Jesper Svensson's arsenal, going with IQ 78U, urethane. Urethane on both lanes for both players. Oh boy, hates it.
Which is no surprise, correct? That both are using urethane at this point, anyway.
That's what they like to do. I mean, we saw at the TSC, Jacob climbing the ladder, stayed in urethane the entire day. You can see the dual patterns and how much straighter he has to go on that right lane, the longer pattern. It just got it too much in front of him and up the lane.
So the seasons in 2025 for these two bowlers. You mentioned that Jacob did not get a title. We look at the strike percentage. Jesper with the edge, strike after strike percentage virtually even, and clean frame percentage also favoring Jesper. He is the 7th seed, Jacob the 10th. All right, he's got one lane figured out early on.
That's more better. The shorter pattern, they're going to create a little bit more angle on that lane because it hooks more. And the longer pattern, the right lane, which Jacob's on now, they're going to go straighter through the front part of the lane.
Oh, lots of tripping going on there. If any of the pros on tonight's show bowl a perfect game, everyone in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register, visit GoBowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion.
Yeah, that's how you take advantage of that nice hit on the right lane. You can see each and every time that Jacob gets back on television, the confidence that just continues to grow with him, right?
Well, he has done a lot of winning in his career. 27 PBA regional titles. He had 9 in 2016. He's the youngest player to reach 20 career regional titles. He did that when he was 24. Has a major, he mentioned, a USBC Masters, so Jacob knows how to win.
There you go.
That guy.
Hey, Dave, you want to take a look at our oil pattern?
Only if it's powered by Kegel.
Tee me up, man. Let's go.
The Adam West pattern on the left and the Hardwick pattern on the right.
All right, named after the Hall of Famer, Billy Hardwick, 44 feet in length. You can see the players are going to play more towards the center part of the lane. The shorter pattern, they'll play out. And once again, both players starting with urethane. They're probably going to stay in urethane for both games, I would venture to say.
All right, thanks to our friends Tom and his bunch at Kegel for all of that extra work.
Oh, no.
Okay, got a break.
No trip on the 6th, though. Again, it's a race to 2. Doesn't matter if you win a game by 5 or 50. And this one ventures a bit high. 7 goes last. And with a spare, Jesper will be trailing by 21.
So get to 2 points, you're moving on into the next round. The winner of this match will meet Andrew Anderson in the round of 8. So you get a point if you win the first game. If you win the second game, you earn a point. If we're tied 1-1, which did not happen last night, but if we're tied after 2 games, the winner of the roll-off will win the match. Oh, wow.
Well, Jacob using a lot more surface on his bowling ball on that right lane, along with getting that shot inside of target. He goes right through the nose and pays for it. Big 4.
1%.
And hard to believe that the Big 4, or excuse me, the 710 has been made more times on television than the Big 4.
Is it Walter Ray the only one to do it?
Walter Ray, the only player ever.
I thought. Tight max through 5. Let's see how Butters can bounce back. And a very fortunate break to trip out the 7, leaving him just a single pin. So what's missing here, Randy?
That was another big miss in. It's just not making good shots. The last 2 after going perfect frames 1 through 4, the last couple of shots have gotten well inside a target for Butturff. This could have been another big split. Instead, it's just the 2-pin.
So the front 4 for Jacob Butturff, but at the moment he's actually down on the max score to Jesper Svensson, the reigning Tournament of Champions winner. Ripping racks. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to gobowling.com to find a center near you. The tight match between Jesper Svensson and Jacob Butturff. You see Butturff found a patch of ice in the 5th and 6th frames after opening with the front 4. Jesper working on a spare, down by only 3 in this race to 2. And also coming up tonight, Chris Vai versus Ryan Barnes.
Yeah, that looked good as soon as it left its shoelaces.
Always love seeing the ball wipe out the 8 and 9.
Let's go down to the floor and talk with Storm Tour rep Rob Gottschall. Rob, what do you see so far with Jesper on both lanes, and what do you like, what do you don't like?
Yeah, I like that he's keeping his angles a little square. You know, it's just a bad shot in the 2nd on the right lane. The one on the left lane was okay, got his hand around it, but he feels real comfortable. We're in 2 different balls. Obviously, one a little stronger on the long pattern, but he's in a good mindset.
Thank you, Rob. Are you kidding me?
Well, I hate to say this, but I think his mindset just took a hit.
I was thinking the same thing. Great mindset until you leave a pocket 7-10.
I'm sure we're going to have to replay this. I don't think I want to look.
Wow. And again, in my opinion, I think it's one of the worst breaks in the sport, if not the worst. And why do I say that? Because you hit the pocket, you throw a really good shot, hit the pocket, and you're left with an open frame.
You're left with something you can't deal with. It'd be one thing if you left a makeable and you missed it, that's on you. But that is just a horrible break. That's more like it. Taking full advantage of the open frame from Svensson.
Looks like he moved in here on that right lane. Try to find a little bit more oil in the middle. Typically, that's what you do, folks. Even if you're bowling at home in league, your ball over hooks, chase it to the center part of the lane.
Got to come back.
That came back a long way. That came back from Flint.
I didn't see that either. That needed Apple Maps to get back to the pocket, and it actually almost did take out the 7-pin.
You are on fire today. Again, the shorter pattern, so you're going to have more friction. The ball's going to curve a little bit more, and you can get away with that shot on that left lane. 93% of the time, look out.
And then there's the 6.8%.
Yeah, we get our great stats each and every week. Unfortunately for Jacob, that stat's going to change a bit, but we get our great stats from our good friends at Lane Talk. For more information, head on over to lanetalk.com and feel free to download the free app. Now, can the Iceman take advantage of the opening here in game one.
Yes, he can. Wow, that was power.
Another beauty. More up the gut, more up the lane, the longer pattern. Now let's see if Jesper can keep his hand a little bit more behind this shot. Remember, Rob, you heard him say he got around the one in the 5th frame, which led to the 6 pin.
And a sigh of disgust from Svensson.
Well, here's why.
Again, the red was the actual shot. The blue is what you want to do.
You know, when you're bowling on the same pattern, and even though the lanes, you're bowling on a pair of lanes, same pattern, they might play a little bit different because of topography, but it's the same pattern, right? And so you kind of get dialed in with speed, same ball maybe on both lanes. Dual patterns, completely different ball game. One lane, you're kind of opening up your angles. The other lane, you're going much straighter through the front part of the lane. Maybe your speed has to change. And that's why I think it's so incredible what Norm Duke did back in 2019 when he won back-to-back weeks on dual patterns.
Oh. 6 pin for Butturff.
Still can't be shut out if he covers this, which you would think shouldn't be a problem. He did miss the 7 pin in the 8th.
Got it.
All right, he needs a double and 8 to claim game number 1.
The match seemingly turning on Svensson 7-10.
Yeah, if you give him a strike there, he's in the 220s, and game 1 is over.
And Butturff may get away with one of the big cardinal sins, is missing a single pin in a match. Long way to go, short time to get there, and that's a great looking strike for Jacob. He needs another one.
Gotta take a re-rack, Tony.
And he'll take a re-rack. Think about it for a second.
Softer speed on that left lane helps that ball come back from that zone.
So another strike and 8 would shut out Jesper and give Jacob the first point in the race for 2. And he doesn't get the strike. Soft 7. And now Jesper has the opportunity to take it in the 10th.
Made that one.
That is the fact. Jesper a double and 4 will get the job done.
Yeah, and Jesper struck his last 3 on this right lane. Looking to join his good friend, tour roommate, Kyle Troop in the round of 8. Trying to close out here in game 1 and get that much closer.
It, and he doesn't get it. So Jacob Butturff grabs the first of the 2 points available in the race for 2. Got away with missing a single. But you go back to that 7th frame when it was close, and Jesper Svensson never did quite get off the deck after that body blow from the 7-10.
You know, I've watched a lot of bowling over the years, and it still baffles me when I watch a guy like Jesper with a rev rate of over 560 leave a flat 7. And I get that a lot of it has to do with the urethane ball, the angle he's playing, but still. I mean, come on.
Point number 1 goes to Jacob Butturff. Can he wrap it up and get himself a battle against Andrew Anderson in the quarterfinals? The race to 2, Butturff has the edge. Now Jesper Svensson deep in thought after losing the first point to Jacob Butturff, 200 to 196, and he wanted to get a little counsel in between games.
I feel like I should be able to make 10 good shots because they're not that hard. It's just me not being really comfortable, so help it.
Get your feet under you and just get your hand under it, all right?
Cash for them a little bit more. A little more cash.
Yeah, I feel like work it too, almost overwork it on the left leg because it's like I really need to.
Slow down a little.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like he lost by 8, but it's kind of hard to really believe that you lost. You know what I mean? It's like the pocket 7-10 around 2 strikes, you lose by 8. It's like, wow, did I really lose that game? But I think he just has to somehow focus and find some confidence knowing that he's doing what he needs to do and just execute better.
I just wonder what is making him feel uncomfortable. That's fascinating to me. And Jacob Butturff chopping through there, leaving it 2-4-7.
And I think that's a great point that you make because it's not like Jacob's running him over.
Nope. Bowled a 200 last game with a missed single pin. Did have one nice stretch of strikes, but not at his very, very best at the moment. Certainly we know he's capable of some massively high scores.
Fortunate.
That, without question, was a clean wipe. Presented by Dude Wipes.
And fortunate to cover the 2-4-7. No doubles for either player since the 4th frame of game 1.
Well, maybe a double will get him comfortable. Jesper now 30 years old. Oh, wow.
570 that time.
That was the rev rate of the pin that went around the 7, I think. Was 570.
Jesper, a good 3 to 4 boards to the left of where Jacob's playing and a good 2 miles an hour faster.
Which leads me to a question for you, Pards. Let's have him shoot this. 2 completely different styles, completely different games. What ways do they affect each other?
Well, if you go back to the Tournament of Champions, there was no effect whatsoever on Jesper because of his style and what he does. He was able to play a part of the lane that nobody saw. Jacob was never near that part of the lane. He played so far out because of his ball speed and how fast he can throw it and how straight he can go. He had that part of the lane to himself.
There we get a kick save and a beauty.
Now, with that being said, they're a little closer to one another today.
Okay. The oil pattern dictating that.
Correct.
Patterns.
And sure enough, because especially on the right lane, because of the surface that Jacob is using, it can certainly affect what Jesper's doing. That surface is going to break the front part of the lane down, make it hook early. Something to watch for.
Powerful hit for Butturff. He crosses the 500 RPM mark. Still to come, Chris Vai and Ryan Barnes in a 2-handed war.
At the Tournament of Champions, we watched Jacob progressively chase the pattern towards the center part of the lane. When it came to the title match, Jesper went the other direction.
Yeah, he had every reason to feel badly about that shot. Now he's got an extra back of that 247.
The back pin's the one that you have to be concerned with. Covering that 8-pin. Ooh, the straight ball. Chop. Again. 247 converted. This time with the 8 standing. I mean, that could have easily been open, strike open.
And you could argue that Jesper should be double-double. I mean, 2 strikes, I should say, because of how pretty that first one was, but he got stuck with a ringing 7. There you go, another kick on the 7. Registration for the 2025 PBA LBC National Championships is open to bowlers of all skill levels. The PBA LBC National Championships returns to the Chicago area and includes a division for everyone. You can compete in singles and optional doubles and team events. Even combine your scores with the pros. Enter today at pba.com/LBC tournament. Oh.
Pocket 7-10 in game 1, now 6-8 in game 2. Safe to say Jesper not catching a whole lot of breaks.
No, unlike his good friend Kyle Troop, who had a bunch of breaks yesterday, also bowled really well and winning, but Jesper not getting that same karma at the moment. Taking a run at it.
Got to fight through it.
Now an opportunity for Jacob. Already up 1-0. Pretty good looking shot, just a tiny bit high to leave that, just to show you how much of a better year 2025 has been for Butturff. Last year he was 38th on the points list. This year 10th. A couple of second place finishes, one at Delaware and of course one at the TFC.
You can see in just a game and a half, the left side has broken down. Both players using urethane, but with that urethane comes a lot of surface, and when you have surface and a lot of texture on bowling balls, they break the front part of the lane down pretty quick. Jacob continues to chase it. He's been high the last 3 shots. Or excuse me, the last 3 out of 4 shots. The strike coming on the right lane in the second.
That's more like it. Cutting right through the heart of the pocket.
And you gotta feel that Jesper is more comfortable on the right lane on the longer pattern, because he does like to keep his angles a lot straighter. And you can do that on the longer pattern. Unfortunately, on the left lane, it's the shorter pattern where you have to have a little bit more angle, and he has to finish on that lane.
Little tapper on the 7. Still a close match. Only 3 pins separating the 2.
Have a re-rack, please.
They'll take a re-rack. Going into the 6th. Right now, the big difference in this match in the 4th frame. Open for Jesper on a 6-8. Butturff clean through 5.
I mean, if you don't count his fill shot, he's only missed the pocket twice.
Just did a good job with that lane.
That lane is just getting in his brain as much as anything else right now.
And the left lane's starting to get sparky. And that kind of fits into Jacob's wheelhouse because he likes to get in and open the lane up.
What can Jesper do on that lane to change things?
He's just got to open his angle up a little bit more and trust it.
Jesper Svensson's got some thinking to do when we step aside here, because Jacob Butturff has the lead and the 1 point in his back pocket already, as Svensson's got one lane figured out, but not the other. We'll see what Butturff can do about it when we return to the PBA playoffs. Welcome back. This is Strobel Arena, Thunder Bowl lanes at Allen Park, Michigan. It's time for our Bowl TV highlights. We go back to last night.
And Anthony Simonson, man, he was on fire. He looked so good last night. 258 to start, 230 to finish, and it was a clean sweeper over Ethan Fiore. And then match number 2, Kyle Troop taking on Tim Foy Jr. After sneaking by game 1, 224-212, it was all Troop in game 2. Kyle striking 11 out of 12 shots, winning 265-215 to advance.
Kyle will take on Graham Fa, the number 4 seed, and it will be E.J. Tackett and Anthony Simonson in the round of 8. And oh, whoa, Nelly. The man used to say, solid 6.
Back-to-back 6 pins on the right lane. Not one player has gone light here in game 2.
We've only had one double. That was by Svensson in the 2nd and 3rd in this game.
All right, good shot.
Not one light shot.
They've gone heavy a couple times, but not light. And both players are hovering around the pocket all the time. And we could be headed for a fantastic finish. Powerful hit for Jacob.
All right, it's just a 3-pin game. Let's go down to the floor once again. Rob Gottschall, what does Jesper have to do? What kind of adjustments is he going to make getting up here in the 7th and 8th frame?
Yeah, he's got a good reaction on the right lane. It's really the left lane. Both players are experiencing a little bit early hook, so he's going to make a little move to the right and just give it a little more shape and see if he can get the ball to go through the pins.
All right, Rob, thank you.
All right, excellent observation from Rob. Yes.
Wait, what is it? Was that a break?
Yes, for him, a good one for him, too. You know what that also was?
Wow.
He wiped those pins out.
So that would be a...
Dude wipe. Clean wipe is what I would call that.
No fear, all clear for the Iceman. Look at that follow through. So fun to watch. But a nice break, mixing them up here. And looking to retake the lead with a strike here in the 8th. This is a big telling shot because he has to finish on this left lane.
That might not be so bad after all.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So that one to me looked like it had a little trust to it. So he moved in, opened the lane up a little bit more, and trusted it, and this is what happened.
So has he set himself up for 10th frame success? Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
Pocket 6-8. It happened to Jesper. Now it's happened to Jacob.
For Svensson, it was the left lane, and this time for Butturff, it's the right lane. Could we see our first roll-off?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Butters! Buttercut!
Take a re-rack to get the heart rate down just a touch after that.
You even heard Jesper saying he shot Jacob. It's a thin slice, 6 into the 8.
Each bowler with 1 re-rack left. You get 2 per game. But Jesper has the driver's seat as far as max score goes. Fortunate that that was not worse.
Yeah, you're right, Pards. That could have been a 6-7 split easy. 6 goes, 7 almost went. Had some action going that way. And with another spare here, that max score dropping, Svensson in control.
Yeah, Jesper can put this thing away right now and get us into a roll-off. If that happens, we didn't have one last night. It would be our first of this edition of the PBA playoffs.
Jesper, the higher seed, would have choice of starting lane. He is our number 7 seed.
No.
Oh. Yeah, that's hard to watch, guys.
It's criminal.
Sorry.
It's literally criminal. You can see by just that tiny fraction on the replay how close it was between the ball contacting the 9.
Hard to watch.
Oof.
He's had it all today. Pocket 7-10, 6-8, now the solid 9. All around strikes, by the way.
Wow, that could have easily been a 3-bagger. Now he can still win the match. He needs double and 4 to nail this down. But now he just finally struck on that left lane that he's going to be on now in the 8th frame. He threw a beautiful shot. So can he repeat 2 more times?
Of course.
He cannot.
Why wouldn't you?
And now look what happens to the max score. And Jacob Butturff may sneak out of here with a sweep. Can't let up.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've won a lot of games on tour in my career, and you get done with a block or you get done with match play, and you're with your tour roommates or your buddies out here, and hey, how'd you bowl? And well, This game, I shot 204, and I left the whole back row, and you give them a frame by frame, and that's kind of this game for Svensson in a nutshell. 7-pin in the first, 6-8 in the fourth, solid 9 in the ninth, and then the 10-pin in the 10th. It's what we would call a really good 200 game.
And is the difference in this match the fact that Butturff converted his 6-8?
Yeah.
And Jesper did not. That's another incredible odd occurrence. Oh my heavens, a count monster. 199. So Jesper unable to get above 200 in the first 2 games.
Well, it's actually still enough to force Butturff to double. Two and two. The Chuck Woolery.
Yeah.
One for 4 on this right lane here in game 2 for Butturff.
Got it. 1 to go.
Beautiful shot here by Jacob Butturff. One more just like it. He moves on.
No.
We are going to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
1 pin difference. Jesper Svensson lives.
What a match.
It's one of the odder matches you've ever seen with guys who have been basically.
It's awful.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because now I feel like I'm.
2 guys living in the pocket. And neither one of them hit 200. That makes no difference. Of course, the outcome that might have just been a.
The rule is one time must be broken by a 9. And 10th roll-off, Jesper Svensson, higher seed, has determined the ball.
So Jesper will start on the left lane. Kind of getting that out of the way. Here are the rules. Higher seed chooses order. 9th and 10th frame. Higher pinfall wins. Your max is 60. And if tied, we do go to the 1-ball roll-off.
This tells me that Jesper likes the right lane better.
Can you blame him?
I don't know. He just solid 9 over there. Didn't he?
Well, yeah, but the left lane hasn't exactly been his pal.
No, you're right. But he only has to throw 1 shot there.
Also true. And he throws a pure strike.
What a great match.
It's odd, but it's great.
Yeah. It's like, when was the last time you could say 199, 197 was a great match? It was.
Well, it's bowling's equivalent of a pitcher's duel.
That's high. Flush. So that was in, but it was faster, and that ball held line, and that's 10 back for Butturff.
On we go to the 10th. Couldn't have held any better.
You know, I kind of saw that coming. It's been a while since he's thrown a shot over there. Jesper finished over there. A couple more balls going down that lane, maybe causing the front to hook a little bit sooner. And I'm like, I wonder if Jacob's going to go high the next time he's on the left lane.
Well, there's your answer. And he was lucky to get rid of that 7-pin. Make this a pretty simple opportunity for him.
Never know. Come on.
Yeah, Svensson now, if Butturff strikes here, Svensson needs first strike on the right lane.
Crazy. Still to come, Chris Vi and Ryan Barnes.
Oh, seen it all this match.
What else? Seriously, what else?
Well, first strike or spare strike, and Svensson punches his ticket and will face Andrew Anderson. That any good?
Even he applauded. That's how good it was.
I'll tell you what, both players fought hard. This was an absolute slugfest, back and forth, haymakers from both sides. And when Jesper needed his best, that's what he gave us.
Okay, six-pin just crushed the 10 at the end there.
The six-pin didn't know what to do, was confused, got hit so hard.
That's how you do it, kids.
Great finish.
And that's how you advance into the round of 8 to take on Andrew Anderson next week. Jesper Svensson's going to take this roll-off in a just insanely tight couple of games with his fellow lefty.
Great match.
Wow. Yep, we're just as tired as you are, Jesper.
Just a great match. Wow.
And the updated bracket, as we have mentioned, Jesper now sliding into the top 8. He'll take on the number 2 seed. Andrew Anderson's going to be tough to beat in this building. And Ryan Barnes and Chris Vi are next, seed 6 versus 11, with the winner taking on Jason Belmonte. Pretty emotional stuff, pretty exhausting stuff, but now the power of Ryan Barnes and the skill conditioning Chris Vi. And a reminder, our coverage of the 2025 PBA playoffs continues next weekend on FS1 with quarterfinal action Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern and next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here from Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Dude, I'm exhausted after watching that last one.
Yeah. Wow, that was a great match. A lot of fun to watch.
A lot of stress. Yeah. But a lot of fun, certainly for us, because we weren't involved in it except from our positions. But I imagine that both Jesper and Jacob are absolutely wiped out. And that's going to lead us to the roll-off and our frame of the game presented by Beatbox.
Well, these two tie one game apiece, and then they go to roll-off. Butturff and Svensson both strike on their first shot, but Butturff goes through the nose, gets 9, spared 9, setting the stage for Svensson, who gets up and throws all 3 in the 10th to win the roll-off and advance.
And the frame of the game presented by Beatbox, the original party punch. Beatbox, what's your flavor? We always urge you to please enjoy responsibly. Well, something we always urge to enjoy responsibly are Kimberly Pressler's pressing questions, and this is another good one. She asks, what's the weirdest place you've ever been recognized?
Packy, where's the weirdest place that you've ever been recognized?
In the underwear section in Target. It's got to be in the bathroom. You know, like people walk in and they're like, "Oh, you're the dude with the fro." I'm like, "Yeah, you want to help out?" Like,
I was at a NBA game, went to the bathroom, standing at the urinal. A guy looks at me, says, "Belmo?" Yeah, and he asked to shake my hand.
5 or 6 years ago, Natalie and I were in Korea. We walk into a Shake Shack, and we're sitting there eating, and one of the workers out of the back goes, EJ!
I went out for a curry with my friends, particularly what we do on a Saturday night over there. And yeah, I got recognised, and it was very strange. And he didn't buy me a beer, though. So.
It was in Europe, in Sweden. I'm going through a gas station, and this guy's looking at me from across the way, and we make eye contact. I'm like, man, this is kind of strange. In a Swedish accent, are you a bowler? Yeah, yes, I am. Are you Andrew? Yes, I am. Dude, I just got done watching 8 hours of YouTube videos like last night. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Disney World. This guy kind of like shoulder checked me, and he's like, dude, my kids love you, like big fans. The kids had no idea who I was. The dad was clearly the fan.
Were you wearing the gears?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Presented to us by Go Bowling. So it'll be Chris Vye versus Ryan Barnes. The race to two. Two-handed style coming up next on FS1. And the PBA is proud to have Boulders to Veterans Link as the official charity of the PBA Tour. In tonight's PBL Salute to Veterans, we welcome U.S. Marines Corporal Charles Denard, who served for 2 years. Corporal, thank you for your service. To donate, go to bbl.org. All right, the bracket is almost set for the top 8. You got one more spot to fill. That'll be Ryan Barnes versus Chris Vye to settle up, who's going to face Jason Belmonte in the quarterfinals. Otherwise, Tackett Simonson, Fa Troop, Anderson, Svensson. Both Ryan and Chris are with Kimberly.
Thanks, Dave. So, Chris, you are 6th in points, and you have made 7 top 10 finishes this season. So you've been extremely consistent. You're just missing that win. So what would a playoffs win mean to your season?
Oh, it would mean a lot. Like you said, I feel like I've bowled pretty well this year. Just haven't quite performed the way I wanted to on TV. So no better time than right now.
That's right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Ryan, huge season for you so far. You are shoo-in for Rookie of the Year, and you're making your debut playoffs appearance. So what has been the one thing that you have focused on throughout the season to help you climb to the playoffs?
Just preparation each tournament, staying in with my process going into each tournament, and just executing.
Said like a true Barnes. Good luck to you today.
Cool.
Well, good luck.
Yep.
All right, C's 6 and 11, and Ryan Barnes is going to be the Rookie of the Year, in case you're wondering. Can't imagine too many votes going against him. And Chris Vye has just been so consistent. Tournament in, tournament out. 7 top 10s this year for Chris. Oh, okay. A little side tap on the 9. You're really getting sick of solid 8s and 9s.
Thank you, Chris. Little feign to start on that left lane for Chris Vye. And a little headbutt on the 9 there.
So from out of Denton, Texas, here is Ryan Barnes. Not a stranger to television either.
No.
It did. Oh, gosh, that hits hard.
And that side of the lane not touched, right?
Yep.
Remember match 1, there's Dad, Hall of Famer Chris Barnes. Mom, Hall of Famer Linda Barnes back at home watching.
Yeah.
This young man's been pretty impressive this season. As we take a look, IQ Tour 78 urethane.
Second of the PBA Players Championship in Jackson to Ethan Fiore. Third of the Players Championship the year before when he was still at Wichita.
Pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And he's using an Origin EX on the right lane. So urethane for both players to start on the left.
5 top 10s this year for this young man. Take a good look at some slow motion devastation. A different ball for Chris and a much different result.
3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Get the ball over here to the right side of the 3, cut it into the 4-7.
And Randy, it's worth mentioning to anybody who may have just joined us that we are bowling on 2 different patterns here. So that's why you're seeing in some cases the equipment different from lane to lane.
Right. Long pattern on the right. Billy Hardwick, 44 feet. Slide it.
Oh, thought it might just come off that wall and start a chain reaction, but an early open frame for Chris.
Short 37-foot bat pattern on the left lane. And we saw it yesterday as we take a look at Chris Vai's arsenal. Looks like he's using the same equipment that young Ryan Barnes is using. IQ 78U on the left lane and Origin EX on the right.
Right down the line.
Kind of the same thing we saw last night, right, with Simonson, where he started with urethane on the left, reactive on the right, game 1, and then game 2 immediately into reactive on both lanes.
Yeah, Anthony whipped out about 5 different bowling balls in that 2-0 victory, and also just threw it really well. Yikes.
2-lane thing.
So in earlier matches, Randy, we've seen high rev rates, really high rev rates with lower speed. Here the rev rate's a little lower, but the speed's higher. So he's doing 19.4 with a 506 rev as opposed to what we saw the last match, which is maybe 18 something and 560, 570 in Jesper's case.
Well, and keep in mind that the faster you throw it, the straighter your angles are going to be, right? If you're going to carve the lane or you're going to open the lane up, you have to throw it slower. Ball has to have time to make its turn or to recover.
Very good. Go.
Oh, really good. The more online, the straighter you go, the more speed is required to keep the ball on line.
Got it.
Ryan Barnes, the only rookie to ever compete and be a part of the PBA playoffs.
That is correct. Finishing in 11th. And the really weird thing was he had a kind of an uncomfortable Tournament of Champions. He wasn't eligible to bowl in the TFC. Yeah. He doesn't have a regional title. So he couldn't go in that way. He does not have a PBA Tour title yet. So he kind of had to sit there and wonder where his place was going to be. He started that tournament in 6th and fell all the way to 11th, but is obviously still here, whereas that man is 6th.
Hates it. That shot.
Goodness. Same shot.
So right away, Chris has found an enemy in that lane.
Typically, we see players doing this, throwing a ball that will hook into that back pin, that 9-pin. But lately, we've seen a lot of players kind of going straight right at that 3-6-9 combination. Looks like he's going to hook it. That's the danger.
Yep. Memorial Day weekend, the greatest spectacle in racing, is coming to Fox. The 109th Indianapolis 500, Sunday, May 25th, only on Fox.
Back-to-back open frames for Chris Vai on the right lane. Again, it's a race to 2. It doesn't matter if you lose a game by 1 or 100.
Oh no, he's going to have a 3rd straight open frame.
And this has gotten out of hand very quickly.
And very surprisingly.
Chris is going to use the rest of this, the back half of game 1, to just try to compose himself and get lined up for game 2, because this is pretty much all but over, even though it's just the 5th frame.
Maybe we'll hear Chris in the background reminding his son to get a good one in here.
58.
Huh.
Well, it wasn't a good one, but it was a strike. Whoops.
Yeah, the whoops is a tug, a miss inside. Typically that miss in, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, stems from a player feeling like they can't miss very far to the outside of their target. So they try to guard against that, and typically what ends up happening is a grab and a pull in.
That looks better, and is. So Ryan Barnes taking full advantage of the struggling start for Chris Vi, and has opened up a gigantic lead as we reach the halfway point of this game. Chris Vi's got to do a little work for the next game as much as this one. So the race for 2, and Ryan Barnes has been nearly perfect. Unfortunately, you can't say the same for Chris, who at the moment through 5 has a no spare affair. He has a couple of strikes, but he has 3 opens.
Yeah, but let's see what happens now the back half of game 1.
Yep.
It's pretty much like, all right, well, I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably not going to win this game, so why don't we try to get comfortable for game 2?
And as we saw in the earlier match today, that took Jesper Svensson some time to get comfortable. Ultimately, he prevailed in a low-scoring slugfest with Jacob Butturff.
Yeah, but you look at that match, Dave. It was 200 to 192, 199, 197. I mean, both games really close. Came down to the 10th frame. Both games. Both games involved both players hitting the pocket, some carry issues.
That is true.
But they were dialed in. Chris Vi is not dialed in. Ryan Barnes looks very comfortable. The 110 pin in the 4th, yeah, he carried the nosedive as we take a look at the tail of the tape. I mean, but look at their numbers, even though it's a blowout here in game 1.
Virtually identical.
Yeah.
And there's a perfect throw for Chris Vi with the urethane in the 7th.
Pretty good numbers there, right?
Should be triple digits now.
I think he's talking about his score. Chris in the Ohio Bowling Hall of Fame. He did win that PBA Strike Derby in 2023. We'll see Ryan 5th at Pete Weber. Man, that just makes your ears ring.
Hey, you want to talk to Chris Barnes, the Hall of Famer, father of Ryan?
Why don't you do that?
Let's give it a go. Hey, Chris, give us kind of an update what you think Ryan is doing to this point, and is the game plan kind of working out the way you guys envisioned it?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about keeping it simple, playing to his strengths, and he had 2 options on that right lane, and he chose the one that's probably the safer and where Chris is playing. So he didn't want to step out too far outside of that. Just get into an execution match versus trying to trick him with bar reaction.
When does he get out of the urethane ball? We saw Simonson get out of it early. He bowled 1 game, was out of the urethane ball. It paid off. What do you see happening for Ryan? Stand by, Chris. We got time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the 10th frame, he's going to throw his other option over there It could be that Origin EX. He has a couple of lower end options that he could throw out there, but I think we'll see that in the 10th frame, just so in case it gets to where ring 10, flat 10s, he'll go to that pretty quick.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Ball change for Chris Vai on the right lane there. He's got a double now. Urethane still on the left. The most predictable ball reaction is the urethane on the left lane as of right now.
Okay, nice little shuffle there. Take the 5-pin down.
Keep making good ones, think there.
And if anything, he's just, I think, trying to remind himself, hey, I'm good at this. I just need to execute a little bit better, and I'll be fine.
Got off to a rough start, and young Ryan has only missed once in 8 frames.
And that was not by much either. That was a screaming ringing 10.
You're right. Beauty.
My goodness.
He's bowled some really good games on television, some really bad ones.
Yeah, yep. This was one of the good ones. But you're right. The numbers have not always been kind to him.
But he's learned from every one of those experiences, and just comes back just fighting and hungrier than ever. Here's a ball change now that Chris alluded to on the left lane. There you go.
Well, at this point, I think he could strike with a house ball.
All right, so now the plan is after the game is over, we go to commercial, he gets with Dad, and they dial in exactly what's going to happen for game 2. Does he stay with the Thane on the left lane? Does he go? Here's another reactive resin ball on that lane. That looked a little lazier, a little longer down lane.
Right. Good or bad?
I mean, I thought the ball he threw before that, the Origin EX, I thought that was a little bit better ball reaction. It looked to be a little bit earlier and stronger. That looked a little long and lazy.
Now he's going to go back to the IQ.
And here comes the urethane back once again.
Like I said, at this point, Randy, it doesn't seem to matter. Everything he's throwing is striking. But can he do it again? Well, right now, Ryan Barnes couldn't have possibly looked any better. Nearly had a 300 game. If it weren't for a ringing 10, he would have had a 300 game. He has the advantage. Game number 2 is next. So Ryan Barnes with the advantage over Chris Vai, 279. We mentioned Ryan is the only rookie to make the PBA playoffs. And it is also the first time we've not had Bill O'Neill in the PBA playoffs.
Staying with the urethane, 279 opener, don't change a thing.
Oh, baby.
There's that kick save and a beauty on the 10.
Well, hook, you heard him say hook.
Yes.
It did, it struck. Stay with the Thane for now.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Right?
Well, he and his dad had,
Start over. Good shots here.
Serious conversation, as you would guess, during the break.
By the way, you won't meet 2 nicer people than his parents.
Oh my gosh, you're not even joking. Yeah.
All right.
Craig and Angie Vai, we love you guys.
Yes, we do. Ball change for Chris Vai on the right. Attention star S2.
Well, we kind of talked so much about Ryan, understandably, in that first game, but I know you were watching, and you noticed that Chris was starting to throw a little better, changed some things up a little bit. Yeah, he had a 7-10 at the end, big deal, it didn't matter. But I think he's going to be feisty in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. He ended with 4-bagger, pocket 7-10.
And there. And you know who's in the building? Here's Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Good man.
Spoke with him earlier today. What a great dude.
I have been told by Chris that if Craig is not at an event, he will watch streaming if it's on the Bull TV. Chris is on Bull TV, and he will watch it while driving. They go, what?
That's
He goes,
dangerous.
no, he just listens to you guys. Okay, I hope that's the case.
Craig.
I see. Once again, I feel compelled to tell you that these are not replays coming from our production team. These are live strikes that he's throwing.
This is what happens when a player gets lined up. They feel comfortable. They understand and really know what the oil pattern's giving them. They know if they can miss left or right of target. They know how fast they should be throwing with what rotation. And then it just kind of becomes autopilot where you shut all the conscious thinking off and allow the body to do what you've trained it to do.
Took a lot, and now he has his first crisis of the match.
That's errant shot.
Yeah, he immediately said hook a lot.
Easy to do when you're playing them a good 6 boards different, right? Now, you've got a little bit straighter line on one lane. You're opening up the other lane. A little fast on that shot, resulting a little fast and a little wide of target, resulting in a 2-8-10.
That was pretty goofy. All right, now Chris Vai has an opportunity here that he didn't have in the first game because he was the one who got nailed with all the splits. He will not get the messenger to slide over.
All right. It's a good shot.
Chris was 7th on the points list 2 years ago, 11th on the point list last year, and 6th on the points list this year. So he's become a fixture in this event. Covers it smoothly. And you know everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but his are the only ones that matter. Colin Cowherd is the most interesting man in sports. Don't miss The Herd. Weekdays at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Staying with that urethane.
There's a shot before on that lane. He got it a little bit right, but it rolled up, grabbed hold of the lane and rolled up nicely. This is a little bit more direct and a little more on line. And it faces up and does exactly what he wanted it to do. Perfect. Splits the 8-9. Now, after 13 out of 14 strikes, next shot up after a 2-8-10 open.
Is gorgeous.
Wow. I mean, that's just sexy.
Well, he has brought apparently sexy back to striking. That's a good example, Randy, what you just talked about shutting your brain off. You know, there's an old expression, don't think you're hurting the team.
Yeah, don't think it'll only hurt the ball club, yeah.
Right, well, in this case, don't think I'm only hurting myself, and he just wiped his mind clean and came right up with a gorgeous shot.
And that's the overcompensation right there. That's what happens when you miss wide and the ball doesn't get up. Your mind has a hard time forgetting about that. And so the tendency is to not repeat the mistake, and you tend to overcorrect.
Too many have won a major for their first career title. Currently, that's the only national title Chris has, but you know more are coming. Especially when you can throw it that nicely.
Nice.
All right, good shot.
Both players playing the right lane the same, about 18 out to that 6, 7, 8 break point. And a nice kick on the 10. And it's another double for Vi and a 24-pin lead halfway through game 2.
Absolute perfection from Chris, who has bounced back beautifully from a difficult opening game to take a 34-pin lead on Ryan Barnes. Ryan gets his chance to respond when we return to the PBA playoffs on FS1. So Ryan Barnes now on the comeback trail, or trying to get on the comeback trail after dominating the first game over Chris Vi. But we saw some signs in Chris that he was going to turn things around in game number 2, and he has done just that. So we could be looking at our second roll-off of the night, unless Ryan can overcome this 34-pin deficit. And that will not help.
That's right.
We talk about the break point down lane kind of being in that 6, 7, 8 range, but your speed also has to match your direction as well. That looked like it just kind of scooted off the end of the pattern another foot.
All right, well done there. Can't give up anything.
It's a great spin.
He was pleased with his spare shooting.
So he's going to make a ball change on the left lane. It looks like he's going to go to an Origin EX. And I believe it's going to be, yep, it's a lower pin. He's thrown a taller pin on the right lane, same ball. Bam. Beauty. That lower pin, that ball should be smoother because it should start up a little bit sooner and be less angular down the lane. See those finger inserts rotating.
But Vi's on a 3-bagger. Four-bagger for Chris Vi.
Good shot.
And he has been telling himself good shot several times in game number 2, and why not?
And we talk about pins and layouts and bowling balls. That basically, that pin is the orientation of the weight block in the middle of a round object. And based on how you position that weight block is going to dictate how the ball reacts.
Shot.
Quitter 10 there
Good
for
shot.
Chris. But still in command. Six just checked up on the deck.
Urethane 10. Promise you the next time up on that lane, he's going to look at a different ball.
Felt a little awkward on the approach. It might have stuck just a touch, but he made it. Bottom line.
Frames.
Let's see if we can see what happened here with that left foot. Oh, yeah.
A little heel chatter.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Beautiful. And so the mindset now is, well, I'm going to go to a roll-off. Let me make sure that I'm lined up. However, it's not over.
You got to keep the heat on.
But I think in a way that kind of frees you up, right? It's like you're kind of admitting, all right, well, I'm not going to win this game. I just want to make sure that I'm ready for the roll-off. I want to make sure I got both lanes. My game plan's clear. But again, look at the max score. Anything can happen coming down to the 9th and 10th.
Go.
No. Anything almost did happen there.
Fine.
Pretty good miss in.
Yanked it.
Uh-oh. Now we're going to prepare for a roll-off.
Thank you, Dave.
It's fine.
That roll-off will be 9th and 10th. Aggregate score. Chris Vi is the higher seed, so he will decide how this roll-off will start.
All right.
I can't wait to see his 10th frame on the left lane.
Yeah, because this match is not officially finished. I mean, it's over as far as the score and who has won, but they still have to bowl out. So I want to see what both these guys do.
Urethane now, or?
And you may have heard that question. Yeah, look at this, Randy. Dad just waiting for the roll-off.
Last time up on this lane with the urethane, flat 10.
That time it nose dove.
Okay.
Well, they're not going to have much time to think of a game plan here either. We're going to go right into the roll-off. So it'll be interesting to see what Chris does on that lane when he gets to it, and where he chooses to start the match, if he chooses to start the match.
I mean, as it looks right now, I would think that Chris would start on the left lane.
Get it over with.
And finish on the right.
But what to throw on that? And again, he goes to that urethane ball.
Yeah. And I think the only reason why he's staying with it is because he thinks it's the safest. Yeah, I mean, high and then light.
Well, he'll have, the good news for him is Ryan is going to bowl first to finish up his game. So if Chris wants to talk to his rep, Rob Gottschall, he can, and he looks like he's going to.
There's no reason to try something different just because you don't want to get out of whack.
Yeah, I moved on that one. I moved another 3 just to see, because first one was up the lane, of course, but.
Oh my goodness, that was violent. But you heard Chris Vi talking with tour rep Rob Gottschall. He said, well, I moved 3
Very useful.
on his fill shot, and it was more than he needed to move, but he wanted to make sure that if he did move that far, it would indeed go light. So that tells him he's in the right zone. All he needs to do is inch back to the right a hair.
Start on the left and finish on the right.
Yep, the same thing yesterday.
And there you go.
Okay. All right, buddy.
Did you get the impression he's going to stick with that IQ then? For this frame.
Yeah, he's going to probably move 1 back to the right with his feet. Leave his target the same.
Okay.
If anything, he knows there's a little bit of oil left there, and I mean, you should at least be able to have a little bit of hold. You're throwing urethane, you know there's oil.
What about for Ryan for equipment here? This game obviously got away from him quickly.
I think his equipment's okay, but I think his execution went down in game 2.
Okay.
What a flip-flop. 279 to 180.
And that's a tester?
Yep.
All right, so we already know that Chris is going to take the left lane to start. 9th and 10th frame roll off. Higher seed has chosen the order. Higher pinfall wins. The maximum score is 60.
So Barnes is going to have to finish on the left lane. He opened twice on that lane this last game.
Yeah, there's a double advantage for Chris there. One, he gets the lane out of here. He's done with it. And two, he puts Ryan in a potentially uncomfortable position to close out his portion of the roll. And
Yeah,
how
there it is.
about that?
So back and board, maybe to the right, and then he jammed it, right? He kept it in front of him and just jammed it.
So the strategy was the right strategy. And the 10-pin did not get wiped.
Pretty good shot. He got in a little bit deeper and got a little softer with it, but the 10-pin doesn't cooperate.
We have seen a lot of that ball in this match.
Scam 2.
Wow. Went back to the urethane ball.
Well, he saw Chris strike with it. Maybe that prompted the decision. Maybe that decision was made in advance.
It was made because he didn't like what he had with a reactive. So he went back to the thane and just jammed it. And that's some real stones to do that. I mean,
I think Dad
it's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And he's got to put some kind of shade toward Chris.
If you're going to go down swinging, man.
Exactly, exactly. Oh, wow.
Maybe in a pinch, and then it causes the ball to travel and skate. Gets that speed up just a little bit, just enough to cause that ring in 10. In just enough, picked up a little bit more oil. Result, 10-pin. All right, stage is set. Vi needs first hit. Spare strike. We'll go to a 1-ball roll-off.
Chris is on the lane that he's shown more comfort with. Strike in 6 will do it. The winner gets Jason Belmonte in the quarterfinals. Oh, yes. What a sweet shot for Chris Vi.
Way to fight, dude.
Absolutely, Chris. Way to fight indeed.
This is your moment of the match, brought to you by Pilgrim's. Chicken can be boring, but Pilgrim's is turning chicken nuggets upside down, just like Chris turned this match upside down. I love it. You love it. Put it in a nugget. Yeah, he got blowed out in the first game, then returned the favor in the second one, and just needs 6 here to nail this down and a quarterfinal berth. That's nailed.
What a comeback. I mean, think about it, folks. This guy had 61 in the 5th frame in game 1.
He actually made a joke about throwing a strike and going, well, that'll get me to triple digits in the first game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we touched on it. We saw him starting to build himself up at the end of that first game. Started to throw it a little bit better, getting better results, and it pays off as he gets the win over Ryan Barnes. So the bracket for the quarterfinals are now set. Chris Vai will take on Jason Belmonte in another two-handed war. E.J. Tackett, Anthony Simonson, Graham Falk, Kyle Troop, and Andrew Anderson versus Jesper Svensson. Ought to be a spectacular series of quarterfinals leading to the semis, and of course the ultimate on May 24th live on Fox at 2:30 Eastern Time. Here's an autograph he's happy to give.
Yeah.
He's happy to always give an autograph, but Chris Vai, your winner. Some draining matches today, I'll tell you what. A reminder, our coverage of the 2025 PBA playoffs continues next weekend on FS1 with quarterfinal action Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern and next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern right here from Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. For Randy Pedersen, Kimberly Pressler, and our entire crew, I am Dave Lamont. You've been watching the PBA playoffs on FS1.